Switching up to sports this time, we're talking to Buddy Brasky, head coach of the Batavia Blue Devils, and they've been having a phenomenal season, 12-0. So we're going to talk about that first sectional playoff game tonight. So we're going to talk about that format and what Coach Brasky expects. So, Buddy, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, Howard.
First of all, I think some congratulations are ordered. Didn't you get your 450th win this year?
Yeah, I did. Yep, thank you.
Yeah. So let's just first of all start out talking about how this team's gone, how things have gone this year. Looking at your stats, it's like almost all the games were pretty, relatively easy wins. Only one looks fairly close. How good is this team?
Well, actually, we had 4 really tough games. The 2 with HFL and the 2 with Eastridge were very, very tough games. This team, it's kind of an interesting team. We don't have a lot of size. It's one of my smallest teams ever, to be quite honest with you. And but they're scrappy and they're skilled and they're smart. And those 3 things have really gone a long way to help us have the season that we've had.
Kind of based on what I've seen with you guys before is when you don't necessarily have size, you tend to make up for that with speed, which is huge on defense.
Yeah, we're not a overly athletic team either. We're not unathletic, but we're not overly athletic. We're depending a lot, like defensively, we're very good, and we're depending a lot on our positioning and our toughness and our effort. Those 3 things are really setting the tone defensively for us.
So, sticking with the defensive side, who's been like the key players to hold it together?
Well, Stone Cyberling has been a key player. He's the biggest guy that I have. He's my best athlete. He's about 6'2.5", and he's a very good athlete. So he's provided some rim protection and some inside presence, which any defense needs. And then after him, guys like Luke Rogers and Faraz Idris, they're not big, but their positioning is outstanding. Their off the ball positioning, their communication on the court with each other, those things are so important to a defense, and those 2 are really the glue that have really helped the defense. And then Alex Hale is a tremendous on the ball defender, and he leads us in charges taken. So that kind of rounds out the defensive concepts.
And who on the offensive side has been leading the way?
Well, anybody who follows the team obviously knows that Zach Gilberto. He's just had a tremendous year. He's averaging 23 points a game, shooting 40% from the 3-point line. He's shooting about 92% from the free. He's missed 1 free throw all year. So he's really led the way offensively. And then Stone Cyberling has given us an inside presence that we needed to complement Zach. And then the third option, Alex Hale. When Alex shoots the ball well, we become a completely different team. He's kind of streaky, but when he shoots it well, we're as good as anybody.
So a lot of seniors on the team. Is the team sort of meeting your expectations, or have they exceeded, or where do they fit in?
Well, they've definitely exceeded my expectations, but they're not exceeding their expectations. I thought coming in, I thought we could be pretty good, but I was really concerned about our lack of size, and I didn't know how that was going to play out because we didn't have the spring AAU tournaments, we didn't have the summer leagues and summer tournaments. We didn't have any of the off season to kind of explore what kind of team we were going to be together, and so I thought we could be pretty good because they were good on the JVs, and but they've exceeded my expectations for sure, but not theirs. They told me at the beginning of the year that they were going to go undefeated.
Well, that's great, and they came through for you.
And they did.
Yeah. So let's talk about postseason. Looking at the bracket for B1, the 4 teams kind of in your first half of the bracket. Record-wise, seems like you should be able to handle. Are you confident that you'll be able to make it to the finals?
Well, if you know anything about me, Howard, I look one game at a time. Wayne is very good. Livonia is very good. Hornell traditionally has been good. And we have a tough first-round matchup with Northeast Douglas from the city. I believe they won Class A2 last year. And, when you play a city team, that's not a good draw in the first round. So you don't really know what you're going to get with them on a night-to-night basis, but they're certainly talented. Do I think we can get to the finals? For sure. I think we're one of the better teams in the bracket, but we're by no means unbeatable.
So, well, let's talk about that first game then. I'm sure you've done, there's some scouting you've done. What are your anticipations? What are the strengths and weaknesses you've got to address?
Well, it was really tough to scout this year because we had to have that coin flip for the number one seed. So I didn't know until yesterday morning at 8:30 who we were going to play. So it was between three different teams. So we had to kind of look at three teams in our pre-scout process. I couldn't just focus on the team we were going to. Normally you get 2-3 days where you can focus on it. But anyways, we've looked at Douglas, and they're not real big. They don't have a 6'5", 6'6" kid. They're all about 6 foot, 6'1", 5'11". They like to play up tempo. They play mostly some zone defense, but they trap out of it, and they try to jump passing lanes and force you into turnovers and mistakes. Try to make it a helter-skelter game. So we're going to have to be able to handle their defensive pressure and those types of things.
So, looking ahead, if you do advance to the finals, it looks most likely, and we know all how this can go, but most likely you're looking at Livonia at 10-1 or Wayne at 12-0. What do you know about them, and what would you? Let's take Wayne first. What would be your concerns there? Where do you think you match up well?
Well, Wayne has almost their whole team back. They were successful last year. They didn't win They moved down from Class A2. And they have two very good players. Blakenberg is a 6'2" guard, and Reynolds is a 5'11" guard. They're their two main guys. They each average close to 20 plus a game, and then they're filled with a bunch of role players, around them that have good size. They play a 2-3 zone exclusively, and they're very good at it. It's more like the Syracuse style 2-3 zone. And they're long and the back end, 6'2", 6'2", 6'2". So that presents a lot of problems for teams, playing against their zone defense. So handling their zone, trying to find holes in it to get open opportunities, and then also trying to find ways to stop their two best players from scoring 20-plus points.
And what about Livonia coming in at 10-1 if you face them?
Yeah, the big concern about them is their overall size. I mean, first of all, Minahan is as good a guard as anybody in the bracket. His cousin, Alex Minahan, the other Minahan, is also very good. And then they go across the back line. They've got Gwynn, who's like 6'1", 250, a super athlete. And then they go 6'4", 6'3". So their size is a major concern for a team like ours.
So how do you prepare your team for each of these games?
Well, again, we just go one game at a time. We're not even thinking about preparing for them at this time. We'll see if we win. We'll see who wins between Hornell and Pelmac. We've watched a little bit of film on those two teams already, and they'll certainly bring different challenges than a Livonia or a Wayne will. So, to be quite honest with you, we haven't even thought about preparing for Wayne or Hornell yet. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, to be honest with you. But basically, Howard, the way I feel about this year's team and the lack of preparation time, I mean, we're going to play Monday, Wednesday, Friday if we keep advancing. There's not much time to prepare. We have to make sure that we're on top of our game. We've got to make sure our defense is on point. We got to make sure that whether we're playing man-to-man or against zone, that our offenses are being executed right. So we're worrying more about making sure we're at the top of our game than who we're going to play, because you just don't have a lot of prep time this year.
I want to go back to just talk about the season a bit. Pandemic year, things are different. How has that affected, kind of keeping the, the attitude of players, not having fans there? Just has it been especially tough, or have you been able to just adjust?
I tell you what, this group of kids is just a great group of kids, Howard. They deserve any and all success that they get. The pandemic hit last March, and I started doing, Zoom ball handling meets with them where we would ball handle on the computer. Everybody would get a ball, go to their basement or whatever, and they showed up to everything virtually, and they've handled it great. Would we like to have fans there? Absolutely, we'd like to have fans there, but it really hasn't affected this team. They've been a focused group from last March until now, just hoping that we were going to have a season. I just kept telling them, we've got to think we're going to have a season. Don't give up hope. As bleak as it looked, I just said, we got to just keep working. We just got to hope we have a season, and they did. And so it hasn't affected them much, to be honest with you. Great group of kids.
Has there been any sense of missing as many fans there? The Batavia fans have always been such a big part of the games.
It really has, and that's been a disappointment. Obviously, they'd like to have their classmates there. The parents get to come, which is good, but they would love to have their classmates there, especially having such as good a season as they're having. But they don't really talk about it much. I think a lot of the kids have been watching on the live streams, and they talk about it around school. But yeah, they're disappointed that the classmates can't be there. The Blue Zoo can't be there. But again, they've handled it great. They've been focused.
Well, great. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Kind of froze up there a bit. Okay. So, wish you all the success, buddy. Any final thoughts you want to share? Any words of encouragement for all of us rooting for you guys?
No, just I encourage you to watch on the live streams. Any support on social media you can give the guys, because they're all on social media, and they appreciate when there's support out there on social media. And just follow us and let us know if you think we're doing well, and hopefully we can get all the way to Friday and put on a good performance for everybody.
Well, good luck, buddy. I really appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to your X's and O's and figuring things out.
All right, Howard, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care. So this is Howard Owens, publisher of the Batavian. We just did an interview with Buddy Brasky, head coach of the Batavia Blue Devils. Exciting week for them coming up for postseason, and we wish them well.